Hello and welcome to Perfectly Mediocre. Today we're finally kicking off our Boba Tea Tales Legacy Challenge. Here we have our legacy founder, Sugar Boba. For those who didn't watch the introduction, let's just kind of go over things very quickly. The Boba Tea Tales Challenge is actually created by Melixa. I will link the description and all of the rules and everything down below. Basically, the idea is they came together as a community, created this challenge that encourages you to try things that you haven't done before. For the first generation, we are brown sugar, which our colors are brown and white. Aspiration is to become a master chef, and then later on, we're going to become a nectar maker. The idea is that we kind of just enjoy growing and making our own foods, our own ingredients. We really enjoy just cooking in general. And then later on in life, we realize that maybe what we really want is to just go all out and take it to a ranch and spread out, start growing our own things there and make nectar. I have decided that we are beginning in an apartment, so we kind of will have a little bit of hamper on our goals here, so it's going to make it a little extra challenging. We can't really get started on the gardening right away as easily, and just situations like that. We did have to roll, this is part of the challenge, for the third trait and the kid requirements. That's known as our topping. Our topping happened to be coffee jelly, which gave us 5 kids and the neat trait. It's going to be an interesting start to things. Now, as you can see here, we also need to become a restaurant owner. At this point in time, we have only 10 simoleons to our name, so we have to work for that yet. Now, they do leave room for you to go ahead and cheat to build the restaurant, but as I said, I like to make things a little harder on myself, so we are going to work to that goal first. We have to try to achieve that before she becomes an adult. I do use a long lifespan, so it'll give us a little more wiggle room there, but that's also part of why I try to make things a little bit more challenging. We have to get the restaurant to at least 3 stars before we get to the point that we want to move to Chestnut Ridge. Now, what I have done, and this was thanks to a comment on the introduction, is get the food stand. I think that is where we will start. The food stand can be placed anywhere. So we'll do the cooking at home, bring the food stand around town, and then sell our wares from there. Now, we do have a bit of room here in the apartment, so I could set up a few plants. It is so unfortunate we can't use our porch here or our patio, but it is what it is, but we could start growing some things there as well. I also figured that we could build our gardening skill, which does have to be maxed out, by going around and picking plants just to help us with money as well. So the goal is to earn the money to buy a land or a plot of land and then move our stand there, and then eventually build up the stand and make it a real restaurant and be able to build the skill there. So for that reason, we are not going to take a regular job. We are just going to use this. First things first is I need to get more money because we only have 10 simoleons. That is not going to be enough for us to really make use of the food stand. So I'm going to take her around and start trying to grab some plants. Okay, we're going to start in classic Willow Creek. Just kind of start working our way around here. I do want to mention that I am using an ultimate save by Plumbob Kingdom. It means that things might not necessarily be where they normally are because things are changed up a bit, but it also kind of gives us a little bit more variety in some cases with some of this stuff. Unfortunately, nearly everything we are encountering is actually out of season. It's really putting a damper on these plans, but we are instead gathering what we can. These are at least in season, so hopefully they'll be ready to go. Now, I know typically when you load a new save that it takes time for the plants to harvest or to be harvestable, but because this is a like pre-made, pre-existing save, we don't generally run into that issue. So, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem right now, but we are unfortunately dealing with the fact that it is midsummer and apparently too hot for a lot of plants. So it's putting a little damper on things, but we have collected a lot of items. So I think that I'm feeling pretty confident we can at least start cooking some things. We might not be getting the head start on the gardening that I was hoping for, but it's something. All right, selling everything off. We get 686 simoleons so far. And I just want to open up the fossils. I usually tend to make more extracting those. So whoops, I didn't want to add that to favorites. But let's see. Then we get another 480 there. So we're already at 1,176. That in one day is almost enough to earn or to purchase the lot. She is feeling hungry, so I think we'll just check out the competition and have dinner here while we're at the restaurant. Well, this place is awful. We can't even get seated. I think it's time to go home and take care of our needs there. Get started on our cooking skill. Now, I didn't go all out on her kitchen, but I did put more money into her kitchen than the rest of her house. This was the place I thought she would be spending the most time, so I wanted to make it kind of cute and cozy and quaint. The appliances aren't the greatest, but they are better than the bottom of the barrel. It did mean we had to make a few sacrifices everywhere else, but you know, that future of the ranch thing, I figured it made sense that she'd kind of have a ranch kind of style. And okay, apparently we completed 100 whims already somehow. And fortunately for us, most of that ranch stuff is relatively cheap. So after she eats, I think she's going to watch a bit of the cooking channel as she wraps up her day at 5 a.m. and we'll get her rested up and try to head back to everywhere and see if maybe we can pick up some plants on the second day. I'm hoping everything will have had a chance to spawn and we'll have a little better luck. Now, pointing out, well, wait. We have the hello from the other side pop up. This means some free money, and under the circumstances, I'm going to go ahead and let her take it. That's 4,000 simoleons. That's definitely going to help us out. I think we might be able to skip that whole gardening plan I had for tomorrow and jump right into buying our lot. But also I wanted to note on the social thing here. It kind of reminded me that she needs to have 5 children. So we will need to have someone very quickly. The Grim Reaper is calling us. No, I'm sorry. We do kind of have a little bit of a plan here, but if everyone could stop interrupting now, I'm going to explain. I will be creating her mate between episodes. You'll be able to see that next Thursday. I'm going to do kind of a randomly generated sim to be who she will marry. The only thing that will not be randomly generated is the rancher trait that person is supposed to have. So if you want to get a sneak peek at who she will be marrying someday and having 5 children with, check out that video next Thursday. Well, we're wrapping up on a plate of excellent quality dumplings. She's just going to take care of her needs, and then we are going to go ahead and buy ourselves a restaurant lot. And over here, in the midst of a growing town that is really trying to turn things around, there is a lot that's a little bit trashy. And it's selling for pretty cheap, let's be fair. That's a good value. She's going to have to do a little bit of fixing up, but I think we can get it there. All right, so we're just going to kind of move everything over financially to the restaurant. I'm going to go ahead and place this down. I'm hoping we can do this. We're not going to run it necessarily as a restaurant right now. Let's see, can I move this once it's in? I really hate this. Okay, let's pick it up again and move it onto the lot. And then hopefully we'll be able to organize it here. Now I'm going to have to try to run the restaurant as just this for a bit until we have the money to get everything that we need. But it's a little bit trashy. I fully admit that. But I'm hoping that we can at least get started. All right, her name is Sugar. We have to call it the Sugar Shack, right? All right, we've got some pizza going. I'm really hoping this works. I know that we're technically not going to be running it as a restaurant right away, but I wanted her to have this little, like, just food stand first. I think we're going to go ahead and start it. We have one of the pizzas done and just kind of see if things work as I'm hoping they will. I think because it's not fully set up as a restaurant, we might run into a little bit of a glitch or two here, but if it doesn't work, we can always start building the restaurant, but there's not a lot of money to work with there, so I'm a little concerned about doing that. I am going to mark up the prices as well, make sure that we're getting maximum profits here. Okay, we're actually getting customers. This is a good sign. All right, let's collect this, get that out too, and hopefully it will entice the customers to buy something. Excellent, thank you. Popping that in there. We're going to, yeah, we'll let it just keep auto stocking and cook another one. Right now with our skills, actually I'm going to disable and then stock. I've found that the auto stock doesn't always work very efficiently, and I want to have her start introducing herself to people. We want to really start building friendships and everything, because we really want to build our community. And you know, if you're going to convince people to support your business, you really need to know as much of the neighborhood as possible. I also think it will really pay for us to give a sales pitch or two here and get people interested in what we're selling. I think one of the first things I want to get here is some kind of light, because I swear I am always preparing foods in the nighttime. That seems to be when I most manage to get around to actually running my restaurants and stuff. Then the basics for her to have some place to live here would be much better. I don't want to sell the things at home. I feel like that's not necessarily the kind of thing you would do. And eventually, I want to build this into kind of the family home here. Now, it will be a little tricky with the kids. I think we'll have to wait until they're all at least children before we make that move over, because it gets a little glitchy and annoying. I really, really wish that they would make multi-purpose lots so that we could actually legitimately live in our businesses. It would be so nice. Okay, I don't think anyone has actually bought anything yet. We have such a huge crowd, and we actually sold a piece of pizza. This is awesome. I think we're gonna actually be really successful. It might be the 5 kids that are our bigger issue. And we wrapped up our first day of sales, gained the skill, and we sold 1 piece of pizza. With all of this, customer base, I'm really shocked at that. I think we might need to start building things up, but it could also be hampering us a little bit having this on a restaurant lot, but we will work with it. I'm going to very quickly kind of clean up a few things, and then we're going to build just a tiny little shack. All right, there is our little tiny ranchy shack. Inside we have bare walls, a bed, a toilet, and a shower. Just a few things to help us keep our needs in order. I'm going to lock that for everyone except for our household. And we are going to wrap things up right here for today. I think as far as things went, pretty successful for our first couple of days as a future entrepreneur. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider taking a moment to paw that like button, comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe for more mediocre content like this. Until next time, remember, you are perfect just the way you are.